Hey there creative people, my name is Bloomzeye, and here's the second part of my video series of creating Cupid's Honey Builder, my game entry for the first GDevelop game jam. Here's a short clip from my last video where I show you how I created Caillou, my main character. I know it's been a while and this video has been gathering dust in Final Cut Pro, but I'm finally sharing the next part of the series on how I create and develop the enemies in my game. So I realized I don't like talking too much, but not talking may be too boring or not really fun to watch a video of. So here's me designing my enemy character, and I took the base of the friendly looking NPC heart that you'll be saving because this heart has become corrupted, so I want the enemy design to look very similar. Now this heart trumper design, while I do like it in itself, it just doesn't fit the actual vibe of what I'm going for this game. It may be too extreme. I don't know. I didn't feel like it worked. So I eventually just scrapped it and put it up on the shelf. But for now, you'll just see me kind of going through the thought process of how I can make this character work. So I eventually thought, maybe not. Now that I realized this enemy design that I did have wasn't working, I went back to the drawing board, so the original heart design. I looked at it for 2 seconds until I realized, let me just turn that smile upside down to a frown, and I did, and it worked. That was its basic design, just with a frowny face. I'm like, okay, needs a more expressive frowny upset face. So I added some pointed little eyes. Then I eventually added a force field design to emphasize that, hey, stay away from this character because it's going to hurt you if you get near it. I'm not really sure why, but I just did not read the Sprite documentation very well because I didn't realize until I watched someone else's video there was a mirroring tool. So when you drew something, it drew it on the other side. I was doing this complicated copy, paste, merge, layer thing for when I want to duplicate a side of something. It was a hot mess. I don't know why I did that, but I realized most drawing programs have a reflection tool or a mirroring tool. So I'm not sure why it took so long to figure it out, but I did eventually. And as I started to continue developing and trying to figure out, okay, this enemy looks like this for this reason, I started to also just continue to redesign my original NPC happy little character, because I think one thing that helped me design my characters, and it may help you also, is to think of their purpose. So this enemy has a force field because you don't want it to hit you. But then I added I added both hearts to have a force field because I didn't know how to animate or to use particles in GDevelop. So I just I didn't know, I'd never used particles before in GDevelop, and I didn't have time to do all the animations I wanted or to learn how, so I just called it a day by drawing the force field and just leaving it at that. Now, I know myself, who likes colors, to not do colors first off the bat. Unfortunately, I'm still trying to teach myself that, so I end up recoloring my designs all the time. And while I like the color scheme I have, it's honestly my most favorite color scheme of any game I've made because it has some nice pinks and some purples and some blues and some magentas. I should have, in hindsight, started with black and white for everything as much as I could, because it would keep me from overthinking and getting distracted by the colors. I think that if I didn't focus on colors, I probably would have been done a lot quicker in a sense with all the designs and animation, or at least all the designs, because color always stops me in my tracks. Because I want things to look nice and look cohesive and look just like they make sense with each other in their palettes. Definitely a weak point of mine is colors and color theory. So I know where I need to get better. So finishing up my colors, I was pretty happy with what I got. They look nice to contrast each other but still be similar, to hinting to what has happened to these characters. I moved on to the design of the enemy's powers. Now I wanted like the force field to move, scratch that for various reasons, and I thought, okay, the force field is static, that's just their aura. Maybe I can have design an enemy blast. So like the enemy has these negative vibes. I think I called them that can blast you and attack you and give you damage or cause damage on your character. And I was doing that. I actually enjoyed it, but then eventually, again, I realized one of my limitations was I didn't know how to properly program this. And although GDevelop's programming language is like fairly not easy, because I don't think anything is easy per se, but like it is possible for me to learn it. I just, at this time of this game jam, also it's a game jam, so like I didn't want to spend all my time learning how to program. I just wanted to spend my time doing what I knew what to do exactly while learning some new things. So I designed like, I don't know what these little balls were, but they were something. But I designed the enemy blast to shoot at the character like one at a time, like each wavelength one at a time. That didn't work out, but I did enjoy designing them because you know what, if I do ever come back to Cupid Tiny Builder, I definitely would implement like half the things and more that I wanted to do, because you know, game jams, you just get to like your minimum viable product, you're like your most, not easiest thing to do, but like you get to the most passable thing to do in your jam, in your game project, and you submit it. So for me, I just wanted to get to the finish line by just designing what I thought looked good, but also what I can accomplish. So my goal was always look good, can I actually do it? Designing the enemies and NPC characters was a really fun process because it's always nice to think about what could be an issue for your characters in your game to make them miserable. And for the enemies, I definitely would have liked to expand the powers and abilities, but you know, that's the way it goes in game jams. Thank you to all my creatively awesome members and supporters on my Buy Me a Coffee page, like Michaela, Pixelbits, Brooke, and Ro. Your support helps me continue to make cute and colorful indie games, art, and stories. You can also join my Buy Me a Coffee page, which is a Patreon and coffee alternative. By either tipping your support or signing up for a monthly membership, you can be the first to watch early access videos and have your name in the credits, see high-res art, be involved in my game development process, and be the first to know when I finally create my sticker club, playing card club, and merch drops. You can find my Buy Me a Coffee page in the description below, and I'll see you there. In the next video, whenever I actually edit it, record it, upload it, share about it, you know how I go, I'll be showing you how I designed Cupid's wrench that shrunk perfectly to Caillou the bird's size to use to rescue the negative hearts and turn them back into care hearts. Until next time, I'm Bloomzeye. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're still here, hit that notification button, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all creatives later.